Okay, people. So we are coming to you from the future. It is currently Wednesday, a few days before. So it's been a few days since. Also, no, it's been a few. Sorry, it's been a few weeks, a couple of weeks since BNBF final. So I thought I'd obviously take the time to kind of piece together what happened because it was a bit of a shambles like all round from start to finish. It just a lot of things were going wrong. I just barely filmed just because it's so hard to vlog a show day when you're one in a shit headspace and two also when you're like trying to focus on competing and being present. Picking up a camera isn't exactly like the first thing on your mind. I didn't have anyone to help me film, so it was just a case of I just had to do everything myself, and it just wasn't enough. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just like piece together what happened, just kind of like from when things started going wrong all the way through till the end, and then also kind of give some of my like honest opinions. Probably some of them are going to be a bit too brutally honest, but it is what it is. I am someone who stands by what I believe in and my opinions, and I don't give a fuck what other people think. So within certain limitations. So obviously we left at 9 p.m. on Saturday evening, which was the time ideally I wanted to get to like the hotel, but we started tanning late, and the evening didn't happen how it probably should have, just because I think we were a little bit underprepared in terms of the food being prepped, and also waiting for my mum to finish work so we could do a tan. Like it just didn't go probably how it should have from lack of preparation, to be honest. Which then kind of like left me with like an underlying feeling of stress because I wanted to be eating in half an hour, not driving, and a load of other shit. It just was not good. So, but by the time we even set off at 9 o'clock, I was already like rather anxious and stressed. We got about, I think it was supposed to be an hour and 10 drive. We got about 40 minutes in and realised that we didn't have enough food because AJ made a food change and I completely forgot to prep for it. So I was down on rice. I didn't have enough. So we were going over a very key turning point over a roundabout. And we decided we had a red light, and we're like, oh, let's quickly switch the sat nav to the Tesco en route. The light went green too fast, and started driving off. And then, out of sheer panic of missing an exit or not, just missing, basically, I just took the first available exit, even though I was in the right lane, and if I followed around, we would have been okay. But just out of sheer panic, I took the wrong exit, which then basically added on a further 30 minutes onto our drive, turning it into an hour and a half, 40 drive. When you're already stressed, you're tired, you're hungry, and then just like all the immense pressure of competing that comes with it. So it was not a good recipe. I was probably the most angry I've been in a very long time. So it wasn't exactly my finest moment, but in the end of the day, it was what it was. Really needed a piss, so after about 15 minutes of just driving in like just pure anger, I pulled over, and it was pretty dark out, so I couldn't see what was going on. And then before I knew it, I already walked through a bush, and that bush was a stinging nettle bush, and I literally fucked my feet up so badly, covered in stinging nettles. So I literally dragged my feet in sliders through stinging nettles. So that pissed me off more, and so which added even more stress, and just everything was just going wrong. Finally get to the Premier Inn. Oh no, sorry. We get to the Tesco. I get my food, and then we get in the car, and then we get to the hotel. We arrive at like 11 o'clock at night, so it took 2 hours to get there. And then there was the whole stress of getting everything upstairs because there was only two of us, and we actually had a decent amount of stuff, as one does when you've got two people who like to overpack. and also all the things needed for show day. So we had to bring a microwave up and whatnot, and we weren't sure if they were going to let us take a microwave into the room, so we had to kind of like sneak it in like cunts, just in case. And yeah, so obviously that night was just incredibly stressful. I woke up in the morning still feeling very like disheartened. So I went to take morning photos, and a mixture of my really, really shit mood, shit lighting, not consistent lighting with what I'm used to, and I think and stress had affected how I looked. Like I'm pretty sure I had. Obviously I took pictures and I literally was like, I don't even want to compete today. I was like, I do not want to step on stage. Obviously, like I was going to, but I just had to say out loud how I was feeling. And then AJ called me and just tried to reassure me and whatnot. It was quite hard because it was the first show I'd done that AJ wasn't there as well. I think that goes a lot for like for an athlete, how much it installs like confidence and like sanity in you, your coach being there. So it's definitely something. Fuck, I'm muted. There's definitely something to be said about that for me going on in the future. I think that's just like for me like something I need there as a comfort as an athlete to perform at my best. So yeah, and then after that it was just really hard like to get my head straight, because then we rushed a little bit. We getting my tan on and then getting meals in, and like it was just wasn't good. We finally went and checked in the athlete check-ins meeting and was met up with Kai and the boys, and that kind of lifted my spirits a bit. And then went and watched like I'll do is I'll probably chop up clips and put in clips I did film in between these to like kind of give a bit more like, or overlay them to give like a little bit more like visuals and context and a bit more of like a show feel. And yeah, so we went up and me and Kai sat and watched for a bit from the athletes mezzanine to obviously killing time waiting for us to go on. Went backstage. Fuck, why guys are muted? What the fuck's wrong with me? Oh, so right. So yeah, then went backstage, started pumping up and whatnot. Really couldn't get a pump, just didn't feel right. Something just felt off. Went on stage. I don't think I've got any stage footage really at all, so I really apologise, but this is just one of those things. Probably better anyway, because I don't think I would have liked how I looked anyway. So, yeah, went on stage, did quarter turns, they didn't move me at all for quarter turns, and then went into muscularity round. They had me in the middle for one round, and then they had to my left, they had the guy who won, Kobe. Shout out to Kobe, actually a very nice guy. Respect for Kobe. He actually came up to me and said about he's been catching up with the Undeniable series and whatnot, so I appreciate the support from him. He was a very good sportsman, and probably have to at some point have a conversation about getting a session up north. But yeah, he was a really nice guy. And then to my right I had the guy who beat me at BNBF Midlands. So we had that. So they took us through one round like that, and then they swapped me with Kobe to move to the left, and then they ran us through one more round, and then we went off stage. And despite being centre stage, I just had the dullest, lackluster feeling ever. I didn't feel like I was on stage. I did not feel like it was show day. I felt like shit. Despite potentially even about to win, like based on being centre, being a British final, I didn't feel anything. Like no exhilaration, nothing. Just shit. It was such a weird feeling. And then, I mean, the whole day started late as well, to mention as well. The BNBF fucked up the timings, and so that was annoying as well. And then yeah, so then I took the time in between coming off stage and going on stage to really like turn my head around, get my mood a lot better. Went and got a little espresso with Ella and Jake. Had a little walk, started to feel myself a bit more, kind of got myself back together again. Made a little power of action AG with food, and then because they were running so fucking late, they didn't even know what time they were starting finals. And yeah, went on stage for finals, did my routine relatively flawlessly. Probably I don't know if it was my least flawed one yet, because to be fair, my one at all of them, they've had like a little slip, but like nothing crazy. So yeah, that was that. Did our rounds, did our routines, did one more round, and then obviously went on for results. In which I took third place. The guy at BNBF took second, and then Kobe took first. So my honest feelings, and that's not just feelings, this is like my completely constructive opinion, and this is me making decisions and opinions based off what bodybuilding criteria is. And that is, I do not believe I should have come third. I should have probably pushed up for second, strictly off facts that I was leaner, I was just as muscular, symmetry, like all the bodybuilding criteria, I believe I exceeded in. And also on top of that, I came between BNBF qualify and BNBF finals, I was significantly improved. I don't think that was reflective in my placing. I think I should have moved up. And especially based off they had me placing either first or third, so first or second, based on the call-outs. So for them to change their mind makes no sense. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very disappointed with the judging, not just for me, but for other people's categories. I was very disappointed with the judging, the choices they made. And I was very disappointed in the lighting and the whole runnings of the event. I think BNBF did an absolutely fucking horrendous job. And I can list off about 10 other people who feel the same. And it's safe to say that I will never put any of my own athletes through that federation, because it was an absolute shit show and it was poor judging across multiple categories. So yeah, obviously that's my absolute raw and honest opinion. Obviously it's my opinion. At the day it's coming out of my mouth, so it's gonna be my opinion. Which obviously, like, it's the whole thing of it's an opinion based sport, so it's kind of like a bit of a hard place to be, especially when it's an opinion based sport and it's an opinion on physiques. So comparing, like, ooh, no, don't worry about it. So yeah, it's a hard place to be in as an athlete, because you want to give your feedback on how you feel you did on like your performance, but it's hard to, because you're directly comparing yourself to another person. It's not like in football where someone scores a goal, it's very definitive. It's completely opinion based, so it's like you're gonna sound like a prick no matter how constructive and honest the criteria you're comparing yourself to is. So even though I can list off like multiple reasons, like I said, conditioning, muscularity, posing, the shots won, weaknesses, symmetry, like all the things that shape, like all the things that we base judging and like we judge criteria off of for bodybuilding, I feel like I exceeded in. But obviously if I say that out loud, it makes me sound like I'm not being sportsmanlike, it makes me sound like I'm being a cunt, but it's literally just strictly fact, and it's not just my opinion, there was other people's opinions too, because I always will ask for other people's opinions to make sure that I'm not being biased. Like I will, if I ever, like for example with like the UKFBA where I came second to David, I was fine with that. I believe I deserved second. I don't think there was, I don't like if I came last and I deserved to come last, then I don't give a fuck. But if I don't place where I deserve to place, whether that's first, third, last, sixth, whatever, I'm not going to be happy. And that's just honestly how I feel. So I apologise if obviously certain people get offended by obviously the comments I've made in terms of placings, but I don't give a fuck, quite frankly. In a day, bodybuilding is opinion-based sport, so I'm going to give my opinion, and if my opinion is supported by evidence and also multiple other people's opinions, then who's to say I'm not right in this situation? Anyway, enough of me being incredibly very firm with that response. That concludes this kind of like BNBF show day / wrap up. Obviously looking to make amends going into this UKFBA show with a much better lead up to the show, a better peak. Not that my peak was bad, but just a better peak because we're coming in with the ultimate peak. Better peak, no stress, a better federation, better lighting, better judging, and also going against some very fucking stiff competition this weekend. I'm the underdog. I'm not expected to do well, but that's where I thrive. I like proving people wrong, and I like showing people that what people might think about me is not true, and defying odds is like that's what I like to do. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Like, share the fellow cunt, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then the next video will be the blood work video, which will be coming out shortly after this one. And then we will have peak week part 1, part 2, and then show day. And then I'll do one final wrap-up video to wrap off this 60 episode series. So yeah, without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next one.